4th of July celebrations marred by gun violence in suburban Chicago, Highland Park, Illinois. 6 people killed, dozens more injured after a shooter targets the crowd enjoying a parade. In Philadelphia, 2 police officers injured when shots rang out during the July 4th events there. This video shows people on the ground scattering against the backdrop of fireworks. Good morning and welcome to Morning Joe. It is Tuesday, July 5th. I'm Willie Geist. With us, we have White House Bureau Chief at Politico and the host of Way Too Early, Jonathan Lemire, and Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist and associate editor of the Washington Post, Eugene Robinson. And we do begin with the latest developments in yesterday's mass shooting in Illinois. 6 people killed, 38 injured when a gunman opened fire at a 4th of July parade in Highland Park. That is an affluent suburb of Chicago. This video shows a band playing as people begin to run. Other footage caught the jarring sound of gunfire. You can imagine the shock and confusion. Maybe that was fireworks, they could rightly think. No, those were gunshots. And that series of shots you just heard, followed by a second round of shooting that lasted about 7 seconds. The gunman was on a rooftop with a high-powered rifle. Parade goers scattering in all directions once they realized what actually was happening. You see a band running there. The crowd left behind chairs, toys, baby strollers, and blankets. Here is one witness describing that scene.
Maybe a few minutes into the parade started, like the marching band had just passed. I heard a subsequent like pop, 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 all in quick succession. And I thought to myself, that sounds like gunshots, but like there's no way. We're sitting in Highland Park at 10 o'clock in the morning. There's no way that's gunshots. Must be fireworks. And a few seconds later, people started to run past us. I grabbed my daughter at that point and just started running.
The victims range in age from 8 to 85 years old. Police say 4 or 5 children were treated at the hospital. A 22-year-old person of interest was taken into custody about 8 hours after the shooting. This video appears to show his arrest after a brief chase with police. The man has not yet been charged. Police say they're not ready to call him a suspect, but they do believe he is responsible for the shooting. The 22-year-old reportedly has a history of sharing violent social media posts. More on that later. More, though, now on the victims. We've learned the names of 2 of the at least 6 people killed in yesterday's mass shooting. The family of Nicholas Toledo confirms to NBC News he was killed at the parade. Toledo's grandson called him a funny guy, always playful, always cracking jokes and playing with his grandkids. Nicholas Toledo was sitting in his wheelchair along the parade route when the shooting began. His son and his granddaughter's boyfriend also were shot, but we're told their injuries are not critical. Toledo held dual Mexican and American citizenship. He had just moved back to Illinois a few months ago because his family wanted him to have a better life. Jackie Sondheim, also now we're told, identified as a victim of yesterday's shooting. Her death confirmed by the North Shore Congregation Israel. Sondheim was a lifelong member and part of the staff there. The synagogue says she leaves behind a husband, Bruce, and a daughter, Lee. All victims who died at the scene have been identified, and families still are being notified this morning. Joining us now from Highland Park, Illinois, NBC News correspondent Shaquille Brewster. Shaq, what's the latest on the ground there?
Good morning. I'm standing about a block away from where that shooting took place, and it's a street that is still full of bicycles, of chairs, of 4th of July celebrations that were left, or decorations that were left behind as people fled that gunfire that began about 10:15 yesterday morning. After the shooting, there was not only the chaos that you had there, but you had situations of people who are nurses, doctors on the scene, immediately springing into action, saving lives. You know that it took the lives of 6 people who were killed and also put about 38 people in the hospital. We also know that there was a large manhunt yesterday, a manhunt for that person of interest, someone who is not being described as a suspect at this point, has not been formally charged, but who police have said is the person they believe is responsible for this shooting. We do know later today there will be services available for, and counseling services available for members of this community, as this is a grieving community that was shattered with this shooting, another mass shooting in this country. And that was the message that you heard from the governor, J.B. Pritzker, who was at a nearby town, at a parade at a nearby town yesterday, and said that if you're angry about another shooting in this country, he said he was furious about it. This is another scene that we're going to see, and we're going to continue to see where the investigation takes place. The scene is being processed still as we speak, and it's likely going to be closed for some time, Willie.